This video explores a caregiver's experience with the difficult issue of driving. Driving provides independence, and it's very difficult to take it away. In this video, Marion is concerned about her husband's ability to drive safely, but she does not want to take away his independence. She enacts with the simulator a conversation Marion had with her husband about driving when he was late coming home and she was worried that he was lost. She learns that her concerns about driving, like driving too fast or too slow, driving on the curb when making a turn, or getting lost, are frequently seen in persons with dementia. They are also indications that it's time to stop driving. Marion also learns about other forms of transportation that would allow her husband to maintain his independence. Marion learns that by addressing his emotion, using a warm and respectful tone, as well as not talking about this when her husband is upset, is much more effective.
So, Marion, you had mentioned that you want to have a conversation with your husband about his driving.
Yes, I'm really concerned about him. He's been doing some weird things recently, and I feel he shouldn't be driving anymore. But I don't know how to talk to him about it. And then I realize that if I stop him driving, then I've got to do all the driving, and it'll all be on me, and he'll feel so bad.
Right. So you're feeling a bit torn about that.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is it that you're noticing with his driving that you're concerned about?
Well, sometimes he drives really slow. Other times he drives really fast, and a couple of times he's made a right-hand turn and he's gone up on the curb. And it really scares me.
Yeah, those are definitely signs that it's probably time for him to stop driving. If he gets distracted, if he gets lost, for example, and all the things that you've mentioned as well.
Well, I mentioned it to his doctor when we were last there, and the doctor said, I think he's fine. He can take a test on his next birthday, which is like 7 months. And when we came out, Ravi was furious with me, and I don't like to mention it anymore.
Right. It's very difficult to have that kind of conversation with him.
Certainly is.
Yeah. When was the last time you tried to talk to him about this?
It was a couple of weeks ago. He'd gone to the library, and he was such a long time coming back. And I was so worried about him. And when he came in, he didn't say anything, and he just walked straight past me, and his jaw was clenched, and he went into the living room, and he sat himself down on the chair, and I went in and I said, is everything okay? And he said, yeah, it's fine. I said, well, you were a long time. What happened? He said, well, I was listening to the radio and I was driving, and all of a sudden I realized I was near the highway. And I said, how could you possibly be near the highway? It's a long way away. It's half an hour away. So he got really angry with me, and he said, don't tell me how to drive. I know how to drive. I'm a good driver. I said, I really don't think you should be driving anymore. And he said, you mind your own business. And he never talks to me like that.
Right, it's new.
And he stomped out of the room, and I haven't raised thought anymore. I can't talk to him about it.
It's a very difficult thing to talk to him about. I can hear that, and it brings up a lot of emotions even thinking about it.
Yeah, it does.
Do you think that's something you'd like to work on today?
Well, if you can help me with that, it would be great.
Okay, I'd like to try. I think, Debbie, you've heard a bit of the story. Would you like to maybe ask any questions or get some more details from Marion?
Oh, sure. So perhaps that's the moment that we're going to recreate and try and work through. So when you had this conversation with your husband, were you sitting down or were you standing up?
Actually, I think I was standing up. I just walked in and I said,
okay.
Where were you?
Right.
And
was your husband sitting down at this point?
Yeah, he was sitting down.
And he said, when you said, well, I don't think you should be driving, he said things like, mind your own business, I'm a good driver. And did he say anything else?
No, he just said, just mind your own business. I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
And then he stomped out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And did he have any gestures or anything?
No, he just was angry. I mean, we've never fought before. We've been married for 20 years and we've never had a row like that.
Okay. Okay, I think I've I've got enough unless there's something maybe you want to fill in.
No, I think that sounds like something we can certainly work with. Perhaps the two of you can just sit together the way it was, having the conversation.
Okay.
And I just want to let you know, Marion, that at some point I might do a timeout.
Okay.
And I'll do that to give you some ideas, some coaching about what you could try differently.
Okay.
And if any point you feel like you need to stop or you don't know what to say, you can also do a timeout.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. So why don't you get ready for the simulation, and then whenever you want to
Just
start,
jump in.
you go ahead.
So I'll just have already kind of come in and I'll be sitting, and then you can just, start the way you did.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
What happened? You were so long coming
no,
back.
I was listening to the radio and I took a wrong turn and I ended up by the highway.
But the highway's half an hour away. How could you possibly get lost like that? I don't think you should be driving anymore. You know, the doctor said that you really could take your test again and
Look, I'm a fine driver. I'm a better driver than you are, and you know what? It's none of your business.
Okay, let's time out there. Looks like that's really affected you. How are you feeling about how that went?
Well, I guess I got angry with him.
Right. I can also see you're very sad about it.
I am. I love him, and we've been together for so long, and I hate to see anything happen to him like this.
You're very worried about him.
I am.
Sure. Well, let's see how it felt from Debbie's perspective, and then we can talk some more.
Okay.
Yeah. When you asked me where I was in that it was kind of a sharp tone of voice, I felt ashamed and scolded. And then when you said things like, I don't think that you should be driving, or the doctor says that kind of thing. Again, I was just feeling scolded and just not being listened to.
What's it like to hear that, Marion?
Yeah, it's upsetting. I'm not like this as a rule.
It's a big change for how the two of you communicate with each other.
Yeah, it's something new for us because we've never really had anything that upset us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That means so much to him.
So clearly you're worried about him and worried about his driving. This is a very difficult topic for people to discuss. There's no question about that. It's not just you. It's just a very complicated and difficult thing to do. So keeping that in mind, I'd really like you to try this again. This time I want you to focus on not just telling him that you're worried, but also telling him that you see that he's upset.
Okay.
Okay? And try and stay away from driving at this point.
I'll try.
I know. It's difficult. Okay, so whenever you're ready.
Okay, so we'll just start in the exact same place
Okay.
that we did last time.
Sure.
Okay.
So, Ravi, are you okay?
I'm fine.
I was really worried about you. Where were you?
Oh, look, I was listening to the radio and I took a wrong turn and it just ended up near the highway. It's fine.
How could you end up near the highway? That's a long way away.
I just did.
Well, it was such a long time until you got back. I was really concerned.
I'm fine.
I think maybe we should talk about driving.
I'm a fine driver.
Yes,
I
well-
told you just to...
I'm going to time out there. It was starting to get pretty charged again, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we have to talk about it.
Do you really want to talk about it? I think that although it's difficult, I think the time to talk about it, the time to have a difficult conversation, is when both of you are feeling calm. So it might be that when he's first home, he's upset, you're upset. That's probably not the time to have that conversation.
No, guess not.
Okay. So when something like this happens, though, and he's come home and you're really concerned, that's a time to try and connect a bit more. I saw that you were certainly recognizing that he was upset.
Yeah.
And that was terrific. But maybe we can talk about some strategies after we hear from Debbie about how that went for her.
Well, this time I did feel less defensive at the beginning. It just seemed to have a bit of a calmer tone, and it seemed to be that you were more worried about me than actually my driving. So I felt comfortable and a little worried myself. When you started talking about the driving again, you know, I just felt like I was being scolded, like I should be ashamed or something.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's my fault.
So
Yeah.
what's it like to hear that?
Well, it's true. I understand what I did. It just comes out. I can't help it. I'm so
Right.
worried about him driving.
Yes,
and
yes. You know, you've also said that you're quite anxious because you're going to have to take on more responsibility for
Sounds
traveling
very
around.
selfish, doesn't it?
Not at all, not at all. I mean, you have a lot that you're already taking responsibility for. One thing that might make you feel a little more at ease is to find out what sorts of transportation options there are in your area. Sometimes there are senior-friendly transit available. Sometimes there are agencies that have volunteers that will drive you places. It's worth finding out so that you don't feel there's so much pressure on you.
But can I talk to him about that?
You know, I think you can. You definitely can.
But not right now.
Well, there are going to be other chances.
Yeah.
And as I said, you want it to be when you're both calm and both feeling comfortable and maybe can broach the topic without the big feelings coming out.
Yeah.
So I do think that in this interaction, the focus should really be on how you can be a team, how you can be on this journey together and support each other. So this time, as you did the last time, talking about how he's feeling, even talking about how you're feeling, your concern, a little gentle touch, maybe a hand on a hand or touching his knee, that can make a big difference to try and calm him down and calm yourself down.
Okay.
Okay, working on the connection.
Yeah.
Okay, can you try that?
I'd like to try, yes.
Wonderful.
Okay, we'll just start in the same spot we did before.
Yeah.
Okay?
Ravi, are you okay?
I'm fine.
I was really worried about you. What happened?
I was listening to the radio and I took a wrong turn and ended up near the highway.
Oh, I'm
It's
so
fine.
sorry. It was so late coming back. I was so worried. Tell me something. How are you feeling?
Well, it was just, I took a wrong turn.
I know. I'm just saying, I worry about you. I just want to know whether you're worried about anything. No?
I just took a wrong turn.
I know.
Okay, let's time out there. So that seemed quite different. Did it feel different for you?
Yes.
What felt right for you that time?
Well, that he was answering me. He wasn't getting angry.
That's right.
I didn't quite know where to go from there, though.
I know, it's difficult to know how to continue a conversation.
Yeah.
But really, it's about the connection.
Yeah.
Let's see how it felt for Debbie.
So when you took my hand and looked at me directly in the eyes, I felt safe and comforted, and yeah, like we were a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
Mm-hmm.
So what's it like to hear that, Marion?
I felt a lot better.
What do you think you can take away about when things are feeling a bit rocky or he's a bit rattled because something has happened? How do you want to handle that?
Just try to settle him down and go back to the fact that we've loved each other for so long. And we do love each other.
Absolutely.
And nothing's going to come between us
Right.
again, I hope.
Right. It's a difficult conversation to talk about driving. It's important to save difficult conversations for when you're both feeling calm.
Yeah.
So you feel that's something you can take away and try for yourself
I can
at home?
certainly try. I've
Okay.
learned a lesson tonight.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you from all the staff at the Reitman Center.